Hello, I am just setting up. I'm checking out the sound, see if I can do it with my microphone so that we can have this Bhakti mantra chat with Veerle. So, that's not a good start. So I'm going to invite Veerle now. Hi, Isabel. Okay. So, if you've just joined, I just want to share a little bit about why and what I'm wanting to offer here. And basically, I previously chatted to my music teacher in India, Sudhanshu Sharma, and about how his journey into music and mantra and the sacred process and spiritual process within it. And so now I'm chatting to different friends that I know around the world. Um, and just wanting to know a little bit about their journey and how sound and mantra has really changed their life in many ways. And so we'll be talking about their yoga journey, and today it's with the wonderful Veerle, and she offers online a mantra medicine circle, and she also offers a womb wisdom online programs, which I've previously taken and I highly recommend. So I'm just waiting to see where Veerle is. I'm going to try and add her again. So welcome, Julia. Welcome, Isabel. Hi. And let's see. So I'm doing a bit of a balancing act here. I'm in Mexico still, but we are coming back. There is a date for that. We are coming back next week. Well, 9 days. Invite Veerle. So I know sometimes the internet is a little bit flaky. Also, Veerle's in the countryside in France. And so let's see. Sorry about that. So that was Veerle calling, and she's just trying to figure out how to join in. I'm inviting her once again. Yay!
Okay, I'm in.
Excellent.
Nice.
Hi, Veerle.
Thank you. Hi,
Doing?
Helen.
Wonderful to have you here. I just set.
Yeah,
I, I
nice.
I was trying to put my microphone in so the sound's a bit better, but it keeps falling over because I forgot my any basically most of the technical things I forgot. I did a little introduction. There's a few people here
Yeah,
previous. But I'll just repeat why we're here tonight for you
yeah,
and
cool. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
really what I'm aiming to share with people like yourself, a different mantra, bhakti or sound musician people, is like basically how they got into sharing their voice, finding their authentic voice, and where their love and passion comes for mantra. So
Mhm.
and their journey within that, and then also obviously what you're offering and how it is that you've come into this track. So yeah, so first of all, I'm Helen, for those that don't know me. I'm sure that most people do now, and this is Veerle. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thank you. Um, yeah, where to start? So I'm Veerle. I'm yoga teacher. Yeah, I'm kind of full-time yoga teacher now, since about the last 6, 7 years. So or I'm still a psychologist before, and I did yoga on the side and just felt more and more that yoga became such an important part of my life. And um, also in my work as a therapist, I missed the kind of connection with the body and with the subconscious levels and everything. So yoga became, yeah, more important in my life. And then I went traveling and I taught for 3 years in Thailand. And for 10 years, I also have a very, very close connection with the Himalayas in India, where I also used to work as a tour leader in my holidays. So yoga and the mountains and this kind of connection with something bigger was definitely very strong in the Himalayas. So together with my husband and with a very beautiful family in the Himalayas, which we are kind of part of, have we opened a yoga studio there about now almost 3 years ago. So yeah, I think my life for the last 4 years has really been in Asia, teaching yoga retreats in Thailand, and then 3 months a year holding retreats in the Himalayas. And that was also still part of our plan, but of course COVID came, and the traveling and retreats part wasn't so possible anymore. So right now we are in France, and I'm offering online courses for women and also mantra circles.
Yeah.
So, and a women's circle where you've been part of. So,
Yeah. Yes, yes.
yeah.
So the yeah, so I shared in the beginning a little bit about you before you joined, but yeah,
Okay.
offering very beautiful Sunday. Is it Sunday? Sunday's
Yeah.
evenings. I lost a bit
Sunday
of
evening at
time.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, mantra medicine circles you call it,
Yeah.
and then also singing has become very powerful within your womb wisdom programs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what do you think? Like obviously, we're both from the track of yoga and retreats, etc. But that doesn't necessarily mean that mantra or bhakti yoga is always part of those retreats. So can you tell a little bit about how it was that you kind of went down this pathway also like me
Yeah.
to, and what
Yeah.
drew you to it, and kind of why, where that came from, or what was the essence and the feeling that happened for you during this process or journey that you're on?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so I can totally relate that where I started my yoga journey, there was no mantra included. There was never an opening mantra or ending. So that part of yoga was completely not familiar to me. I also never sang before, so even singing to me was not a practice at all. And I was thinking about this question before, like, how did I get into it? So um, in, I think, my second teacher training in Bali, we had a kirtan evening, like a kind of
And sorry,
celebration.
there,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's
I
kirtan?
maybe people don't know what kirtan is.
Okay, yeah, I had no clue either. I was like, I don't know what kirtan is either. So we had a kind of a ceremony, and musician came, and it was this the singing of the mantras, but in a way that it's like call and response. So it's kind of a very in an uplifting way. Everyone can join in and sing, and um, there's a beautiful atmosphere, and it's not so much a classical mantra or the japa mantra, which is more this kind of meditative, very deep spiritual meditative space, but it's like a celebration mostly. So that was my first encounter with mantra or kirtan or bhakti, if you like, and it was by I remember Kevin James Carroll, a really beautiful singer, who actually now hosts retreats in the Himalayas with us. I found that circle today, like, hey, he also introduced me in a way. And I was singing in that circle, and the girl next to me, she's like, wow, you should sing more. You have a good voice. And I was like, I don't know. But I felt like such an energy pouring through me. Like, I was like, wow, this is opening so much, and I enjoy this so much. And I can sing free, which I normally never can, or would be very self-conscious. Or so I think that was the kind of first introduction, and then it went away for a while. But I think somehow I really wanted to learn to play the harmonium. So
Mhm.
I think maybe the few years later, I was in India and in Dharamsala, and there were a lot of like music classes. And I went and I said, I wanna learn like classical mantra singing and harmonium, both at the same time. And I studied with this Indian musician, a woman, and she was like very high educated in the classical mantra. So she
Mhm.
was the one, and I studied with her for 1 or 2 months to really get into the classical singing, which is absolutely, yeah, I think you also spoke about it, makes you so humble because they can have all these timbres and waves into just like 3 seconds. So, but
Yeah.
I really loved it. And I started harmonium too, but she said, oh, this is going to take you 5 years. So then I thought,
Indian style,
okay,
at least.
Indian style, yeah, Indian style, because I
Yeah.
started with her and I thought, this is like piano, I give up. So then I think 2 years later, even it was in 2019, I was in India again after the Himalayas, and I was singing mantras then with the Shruti box, which is very easy. And I used that
Yeah.
in my retreat, and I started combining it with Yoga Nidra, and people really loved it. Like, I
Mhm.
noticed that was like the very popular workshop in the retreat space. People loved music. So I really brought it more and more in my classes. And just as that was new for me so many years ago, I noticed students saying, like, I've never had a teacher singing a mantra, and or in Shavasana guiding them with music, and they loved it. And I loved it too. So then
Mhm.
I thought, I'm just gonna buy the harmonium, and I'm gonna figure out via YouTube how to do it myself. So that's what I did. And then COVID happened. So I had all this time to just practice,
Yeah.
and with COVID, everything falling down, there were not really yoga classes or retreats happening. I thought we need medicine. And for me, mantra is really medicine for the mind when people are in fear or anxiety. So I started the mantra medicine circles last year in March, just when the COVID opened and the lockdown was happening. And I tried it and thought, well, let's see. And
Yeah.
I know that people really like it. So I'm continuing
Yeah.
and keep offering them. Yeah.
Yes. I think that for people that have never experienced mantra for real, like the digital way, which we never really thought would work, actually it does transpire something from your heart. Like you can
Yeah.
feel that what you're offering and through online. And I think when people who haven't experienced it for in like a real non-digital way, maybe they'll be blown away when they actually get to be in a real circle again where ours and other people can share mantras. And
Mhm.
what would you say to people who say, oh no, I can't sing, I haven't got a good voice, I like to listen but I don't want to share?
Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
mostly say if you're at home, just get a space where you can let voice come. And even if you can just start with whispering, to just get the vibrations coming, because I really feel that it's you can do them internally, but by giving it sound, it gets these extra dimensions of really getting these vibrations in your body. And that's all what it is about. It's not about if it sounds nice or beautiful. That doesn't really matter. It's
mhm,
your unique voice, and that is your medicine. And internally, it's going to resonate in any organ, every cell. And I feel it's not, I'm never my voice. I've never trained my voice.
mhm,
But I noticed by singing that she has changed. So I believe it's about liberating the voice rather than maybe classically wanting to train it. It's like just
mhm.
getting it up and out, like it comes from the belly. And it's also why I use it a lot in my womb wisdom programs or with women, because it's connected to the lower abdomen. It's coming from the womb. It's coming, or from man, it's coming from the sacral chakra.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't sing here, no, it sound that you excavate somehow. And I think it's just that, just letting that go, like give the voice room to come. And
Mhm.
then that's beautiful anyway.
Yeah. And then along with freeing up the lower chakras, it also frees up the throat chakra, right? So
Yeah,
open of communication in some forms when you feel
yeah.
it more opening, and maybe a sound will come out that you never ever heard, and you're kind of like, who is that? Is that
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and you
yeah.
may
And I also feel
circle like sharing, or it may start at home on your own, but then when you are with a circle, maybe I would say to people, maybe the self-consciousness might be there, but start soft, be kind to yourself, and let something come out, and then you can find the resonance that is right for you in that moment. And with letting go of thinking and letting the
yeah,
sound to be not classified as good or beautiful or bad or
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
let's talk more about the womb wisdom and the power of singing for women together and sharing that that essence within a group setting or on your own, and how it can try and transform the transform for women, yeah, within this opening the womb scenario.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So, um,
You know what
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. um, I think there is a strong connection between the throat and between the womb and the cervix. Like even anatomically, they're very alike, and in the evolution also they are developing at the same time. And I feel especially for women, there is, I mean, it's for generations that women have been literally silenced. Like the voice, the throat chakra in many women is blocked because
I yeah.
even if it's not just us, it comes through generations of our mothers and grandmothers, that women literally had no voice to vote, no voice to make any decision. They were always kind of um, under a man, and that's where they would get their rights from. So, and still, so many women do that, sacrifice their own truth or their own desires or wishes, and literally swallow it down.
Yeah.
And it's blocked, but at the same time there is often also that same kind of suppression in the womb herself, because it's also um, an organ that has been suppressed or silenced or abused or shamed in many ways. So
Mhm.
they're very much connected. And a lot of women who struggle with menstrual disorders or hormonal imbalance or trauma in the womb, whether that is physical trauma, birth trauma, or by pain or emotional or energetic or karmic, whatever trauma, often it's very hard to access that, to liberate that, because it's just the womb contracts even more. So what
Mhm.
I noticed is that by singing, really opening up like the throat and the larynx, the cervix also start to relax. So they work in both ways. And singing is such a freeing, it brings you in that space of love, like pure openness, like this bhakti that you think the ego can dissolve, and it's just love, like a higher love. And I think that is the space in which also trauma can unravel, or contraction or numbness can open, in that
Mhm.
pure space of safety.
Mhm.
So, and it's a beautiful way. It's like you don't have to go to the trauma or to whatever is contracted or painful, but you can liberate it through opening the voice, and just also literally giving voice. I think for so many women is so healing, whether we're not even conscious or not. It's just to open the voice that is still, I
Yeah.
think, for most of the women, so unique, and then also so empowering and liberating to do.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I notice a lot, like in I'm in Mexico now, and lots of there's lots of kind of not mantra circles, but singing circles here because, and it's something that has been done obviously not just in Mexico but in tribes. Women would come together, and it's such an ancient thing of having circles of women being together, sharing their
Mm.
sounds, voice, their whatever it might be, mantras. And I think this is something, like you say, that is so powerful, that can be needs to be more of needs to become like a normal our daily practices in life. I think within cities, within Western cultures, I think it is becoming more, but maybe it's more of a thing sometimes,
Mm. Mm.
like a really deep offering to
Mm.
yourself, your womb, to your body, to your own flourishing and opening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's for everyone, medicine. Like you're just saying that gathering, that's one way definitely women have been doing for thousands of years, coming together, storytelling and singing. And that's also a way to transmit stories and teachings. But um,
Mm.
it is also a practice, like in the morning or in the evening to close the day, you come together, and it's a way of releasing and literally emptying the mind. Like you
Mhm.
cleanse the day, and there's something released. And I think that's also why I call it like the mantra medicine circle, because I really think this is medicine. Like you have to experience it, but I noticed definitely in a space with people. I had it in retreats too. And we talk about women now, but I've seen that with men too, who never chanted before. And we do the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, really opens the heart chakra,
Mhm.
and someone just starts sobbing, not knowing where it's coming from. And just also from men, because they have also this kind of suppression, like not getting into the emotions. And I feel these mantras, they go to the level where we store things, and it just frees something, and you don't even have to know what it is, but
Mhm.
something is released. And I think that's the real medicine that is so unique
Yeah.
for a mantra.
And of course, I mean, for me personally, I find that Sanskrit mantras are more powerful for me, but you can, if you're a beginning, you can chant in any of whatever your language is. You can
Yeah.
begin even simple mantra, right? Like thank you, or
Mm.
like whatever it may be that you will resonate with. And
Mm.
the Sanskrit mantras, that I think maybe they're ancient mantras with a lot of power behind them, because they've been repeated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That they have I don't know, Sanskrit itself, the language has this a kind of a different resonance, a different vibration, right? And what about for you? Do you prefer Sanskrit, or you
Yeah.
your language, or French, whatever language, Spanish or English, or what's your
Mhm.
preference?
um I think the most powerful, yes, I find the Sanskrit or the Tibetan mantras, because
Mhm.
I think that what you also say, they hold that very strong Shakti in a way, like the vibrations are so strong. And I often combine them with English, because it makes it indeed a bit easier sometimes for people, and it works well. But I feel with the Sanskrit is it's like the mother language of all other languages. So
Yeah,
it is a vibrational
very,
language that literally vibrates through your body, and
yeah,
you don't need to understand, but there is something that I think it's also beautiful sometimes to have no clue, to don't know the meaning at all, but to feel something and say, wow, this mantra really lifts me up. This one makes me tender. This one opens my heart. This one just drops me in a space of silence. And then learn the meaning and then see like, actually, this is what it is about. This was Shiva. So you really come in the space of presence. So I think that is really powerful. And um, in my womb wisdom program, we work with different goddesses and their different mantras, and you can really in the mantra feel the power, the shakti of that goddess.
Yeah.
And or even just in the beach syllable, like this the small syllable that condenses just all the shakti of that devata, or it's so strong.
Yeah.
And people can feel that sometimes with one sound, that they say, this does something with me. I don't know what, but I want to repeat it. I want to repeat it. And I think that is something so unique that I don't feel with English, by example. Then it's more like singing, or I do like it, but I think there is another level that comes with a
Yeah.
mantra that has been carried for thousands of years and literally is received by the
Yeah.
rishis in a way. So, yeah.
And I think one important thing that you said there was, well, all of it was important, but the many people may get stuck in their head when they're beginning with a mantra of like, I need to know the meaning. And I've been asked that a lot, and I say, look, I'll give you a translation or a short translation, because there's huge translations for all of these mantras in many different
Yeah.
traditions, different ways in Sanskrit. And but really, although you can understand it to have an idea, then the part is to get out of the head and get into the heart and the body, and then and to feel it. And those people who haven't experienced the power of mantra and chanting can see it in a, oh, that's kind of like a bit too hippie out there for me, or it can be like, oh no, it's not for me, I don't share my voice. But I think like you have had also many people who have this maybe idea in their mind, me too, in the beginning, have this idea of like, no, it's not for me. When you try it, when you give it a go and you're there and you have this experience, it is really like a life-changing experience, right? An awakening of something within you that has been restricted or blocked, or yeah. And I find after years and years of doing asana, now the power of mantra and bhakti and chanting is like the fastest way to connect. And the physical practice is still great, but kind of now if I only have 10 minutes and I can chant and use the harmonium and connect to that frequency and vibration, it's definitely has a greater power within me now, more than ever, than say the other practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally resonate with that too. Yeah, it's such a powerful form of yoga that you have to experience, I think, because
Yeah.
I also never could comprehend the power of mantra, and I'm still learning. Like I'm still experiencing, like, wow, like some mantras I do, or definitely after sharing sometimes a circle, it's like I'm so aligned. It's like the spinal cord, it's open. It's
Yeah.
and it's vibrating, and I think, wow, this is just like after maybe, I don't know, even with the physical yoga practice, I'm not that open or that
Yeah.
like it's cleansing on such a subtle level that and it's powerful, and it doesn't take so much effort either. I mean, it's you don't have to move around. You
Yeah.
can do it at any age. You can do it like sitting down. It's in a way so accessible.
Yeah.
And the
And
mind switch offs. Like, I think that's the real medicine, that
yeah.
you can't think. The ego dissolves, and that is all. You have that on and off on the mat too, but if in your own practice, it's sometimes still thinking going on. While I
Mm-hmm.
feel with mantra, when you're singing, it's the rest, you yourself dissolve. And that
Yes.
is beautiful. You don't take yourself serious anymore. So,
Like that chitter chatter is like
yeah,
and
yeah,
then like in the heart, and then you feel vibrant, you feel joyful afterwards, and you it's just a feeling of more aliveness and like wanting, and humility as well. You feel more humble, of like the resonance has connected you with a greater sense of nature, of being with everything, that then you realize how like little you are. Your mind, your chitter chatter is kind of like, yeah, I'm that too, but right now I'm part of everything.
Mm, absolutely. I think also that is like one of the real medicines, I think, in the that I feel also now we can get so absorbed into our world, or with COVID right now, the negative news, people can get really sucked into this fear and contraction and what is happening for me and in this world, and it can get so dense that
Yeah.
the world really narrows. And
Hmm.
then I feel with singing and also these mantra circles, we connect. It's like the world opens again, and we start to become indeed humble and see how relative everything also is, and how there's still so much going on and there's a higher power. And I feel literally like people can expand again, like get out of this contraction and forget for one moment all of these doom scenarios that we are just bombarded with, and come
Yes.
back home to their essence and their ultimate strength, to
Hmm.
remember that we're all connected and we all have this seat of power within us.
Hmm. Hmm. And you just need to tap into it whenever you have a moment, and that also
Absolutely.
even have to be out loud, right? So japa
Yeah.
mantra is something that
Yeah.
can be to help you combat any negativity, combat anxiety, and these things that, especially like you say right now, can get you down. And so if you repeat a mantra of your choosing, that's something that calls to you, or something maybe has been given to you, um, then this will help to kind of change the dialogue in your head
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's also what the ancient ways always say, that mantra is cleansing your mind. It's just taking these negative patterns out. And um, now they also really start doing this research about the effect of the mantras on the brain. Like there are
Mm-hmm.
certain hospitals starting really looking like the effect, of, especially like Shiva mantras, on people with depression and anxiety, and how it literally change the neuroplasticity of the brain, like it makes other neural connections. And
Mm-hmm.
certain mantras, especially like Shiva, they see that the result of chanting that mantra is nearly as much as taking antidepressives. So it's like the
Mm-hmm.
science is picking up
Yeah,
with this. And I think this is, what's going to help people to
yeah.
start believing, like the selling point, like we have evidence. You don't need to take drugs. You just have to sing Shiva
Yeah.
or or
Oh,
another mantra.
yes.
So it is medicine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It changes the brain, the connections in the brain.
Wow. Yeah, it just makes me
Mm.
excited talking about it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So,
Yeah.
what resonates with you? What's one of your favorite mantras right now, would you say? What they've
Um,
been playing a
there are
lot?
multiple that I'm playing. I'm actually, um, I don't even know the name of this one actually, so I don't even know how to talk about it. It's an
Can we
old
hear
mantra
this?
that I got. How?
We've been talking so much that maybe we should hear one if you want.
Yeah, maybe we should hear one. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I was thinking which one, but I think I'm going for Oma Satoma, which is a very old classic, but I think it's also the first mantra that really resonated with me so many years ago in Bali, and I chanted it
With Kevin James.
continuously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Kevin James, so it's
Yeah.
an honoring to him as well.
You were one of my first kirtan experiences. Well, in when I was on the little journey of like absolutely being falling in love with mantra, and went to Kevin James in Bali, and he
Yeah.
in beautiful space with lots and lots of people, and I was blown away by, yeah, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna do him honor with the way I sing it, but it's my honoring. So
your your resonance and your sound, obviously, like we say, it does it. It's people will get the idea of how beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So,
I will maybe also plug in my microphone. You hear it maybe better.
yes, yes.
Shall we do that?
And
But then I think I can't hear you, so I'll plug
okay,
it out
we'll
afterwards.
take a moment to be silent. So if you guys that are there, then
Yeah.
you can eyes, sit back, lie down,
Let
just
me see how I
put
do this.
mantra into your whole being, or join in at home if you wish.
Yeah, please.
I'll
Yeah.
join in. Silent.
Okay, there we go. All right. This Satoma Satkamaya Nasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya Satoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Oh Lord, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to the light. From the earth to the open sky. Lead me from death to eternal life. Satoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya Satoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya. Oh Lord, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to the light. From the earth to the open sky. Lead me from death to eternal life. Satoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Satoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Wonderful there. Thank you. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're both on, but we could hear you singing, but we couldn't hear the harmonium.
Oh, you could
But,
not hear the harmonium.
I think it's because we split. But it was still lovely. It was wonderful.
Okay.
We
Oh,
all feel.
pity. Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
The harmonium just doesn't come through on the. But
that's weird. Yeah.
one of the instruments, a guitar seems to always work, but not a harmonium. So, but it
Mm,
was beautiful.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Technicalities. Yeah.
I ask you a few more questions, like
Yeah.
uh, knowing a bit more about what you're offering. So, like, where do you see? Obviously, this is a journey that I think we're both would describe ourselves as we're very much at the baby steps in comparison.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think it's a lifelong journey. That's at least how I see it, and see it as, yeah. For me, I would never describe myself so much as like a musician, or I just want to share from my heart with other people. I like to sing with other people, and I'm, yeah, not going to expect people to say, oh, you've got an amazing voice, this, that, and the other, but it's more about the resonance of connecting with other people. And so it is a journey, and I am humbled every time I have a class with a teacher in India or
Mhm.
people. And what is it, where do you see yourself going with this? How is it with your practice and your path?
Mhm. Yeah, I think I totally agree with you that we're just doing baby steps. I every time when I also study with a teacher or tap into like the classical mantra, I really realize like, wow, there is there is so much that yeah, I just don't comprehend yet. Or um, for me, I think it's really a practice that I enjoy so much, and that is what really drives me forward to keep doing this and to learn more and more and more. And I don't know exactly where I see myself going with it. It's not that
Yeah,
I have so much of a goal with it, but I,
yeah,
I definitely want to like learn more and more and more. So I just started because I'm very much into the goddesses and the Shakti, the Mahavidyas, and they have
yes,
such an extensive like mantras. And I just started to study the Lalita Sahasranama, which is the song of the 1,000 names of Lalita Devi or Tripura Sundari. And I'm just learning the first 5 sentences, the first 5 verses, but this mantra takes an hour. So I'm
yeah,
realizing like this is going to take me months and months. And I study with an Indian teacher, and she's just like, yeah, once you, because it's also the combination with the nyasa, with the touching of the body parts and really chanting and bringing the deity in your body, and her pronunciation and her rhythms are just, I mean, I can study a month on the first verse and still not get it. So
yeah, yes,
um, it, it's what in a way sometimes feels frustrating. I think we're so limited with a Western tongue to get into all these nooks and
yeah,
nooks and corners of voice, using a voice.
yeah,
And at the
yes,
same time, it's just so fascinating. And
yeah,
it's really a journey that I feel that unfolds itself in deeper, like you can study like a mantra for months and months and years and years and years and still find deeper meanings and unfoldings within the body. So it's kind of a practice that I think we don't know the goal. It's just
yeah,
doing
yeah,
it. It's like the ritual that, and as long as you also enjoy it, I think it's lucky it's a practice that brings so much joy that
yeah.
makes you want to go back.
Never,
So yeah.
never ending. And it's interesting that you're studying the 1,000 names of the divine, because that's also something that at Amma's ashram, for those of you who don't know, Amma is like the hugging mother, known as she's a kind of avatar, an amazing, amazing being. And right now, her obviously due to COVID, it's not happening. She's not around the world hugging thousands of people. But
Mm.
we in the ashram in Amers, and then this is something they do. We have a book, and they chant the 1,000 names of the Divine Mother like at least twice a day. Twice, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing to listen to them, all the Indian musicians and how they do it. And like, yes, I mean, I used to do it as a practice with my friends, and my friends used to take for me, it probably take about 45 minutes. For one of my friends who's mastered it and been doing it for about 15 years, Chetana, if you ever listen to this, you know who you are. And she
Yeah.
can speed in like 15 minutes.
Wow.
But it is like crazy. And for me, I was always like, I'm absolutely not pronouncing these
Yeah.
deities like
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
I think it's really an art to do it like you're doing it, and taking the time to really understand and learn how to pronounce them correctly. And I think once you get, I think the first 10 are actually some of the hardest in there out of the 1,000, and then it should become easier
Yeah.
once you've mastered those first
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Yeah, and I think also that the learning again also is like a surrendering of the ego to it,
Yes.
because we want to go so fast. I also saw that in the interview with your Indian teacher, like we don't have so much patience. We want to see quick results. And it is as hard as mastering one of the most advanced yogic postures. It takes
Yeah.
years and years and years to go there. And this is, I think, the same way, but um, yeah, it's with the voice. It's like really a
Yeah.
devotion. I think it's a devotional practice that it is for me too. Like it's a surrendering. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm diving in, I'm connecting to this mantra, to this deity, and I'm offering. I bow and touch their feet, you know, and I'm super humble. So it's a journey with them also, I feel. Yeah.
Very beautifully put. Yeah. Um, Definitely about surrendering and devotion, and yeah, an ongoing lifelong lifetime journey of different
Hmm.
lifetimes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
or were the last lifetimes. So what are you offering right now, Veerle? What can people, apart from the mantra medicine? I think you mentioned that on a Sunday evening. Is
Yeah.
that every week now? Have you restarted that
Yeah.
since?
So the Sunday mantra circles, the mantra medicine circles are every week, Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European time, live on Facebook, and they're for free. So everyone can join, everyone can drop in. And that's every Sunday evening. And besides from that, I'm offering, at the moment, it's all quite concentrated around women. It will open again. I'm not just only teaching women normally, but I'm offering a 10-week online womb wisdom program, which is currently ongoing, but the next one will start probably 28th of April. So that's 10 weeks online that women can come together to reclaim all the mysteries from the womb and the blood mysteries and work with the goddesses and get into womb yoga. So another form to
Mm-hmm.
really specify the asana practice and to adapt that to a feminine body with a womb. So that is a course. And I'm also offering now one, just a separate, like a workshop, a mini workshop to really get into the core practice of menstrual cycle awareness. So that's
Aha.
kind of a mini version for people who maybe don't have time or don't want to do the whole course or want to just first have an introduction into what it is to work with the womb. And that will happen. There are two workshops, one on the 11th of April and another date is on the 25th. So they
Okay.
stand on their own, but they're 2 dates. So yeah, that is what
Yeah.
is currently going on. And there are new things brewing, but definitely I want to make a goddess deepening course because I
Oh,
feel mantra, goddess nature, there's
yeah.
something brewing around that. And hopefully retreats again soon as well. When borders are open, we're really
Yeah.
planning to do yoga retreats again.
Excellent, excellent. And I can, for anyone out there that's deliberating about the womb wisdom course, I have taken part in that, and it was wonderful. And it was wonderful to be connected to women and to discuss and to learn about things that actually I wish I'd had when I was like 30 years ago. And
Mm.
I think it's so important, the awareness around menstrual cycles, womb wisdom, and it's not talked about enough. It's not something that in our Western, certainly, and all societies, I guess, around the world, it's something that now women have to be everything, all things: mother, worker, lover, high energy person, go, 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 go. And actually the womb wisdom course is really teaching you back to basics of actually what is natural within your monthly cycle, and all these emotions and these feelings and the energy levels and everything that's changing. Once you highlight the awareness to it, you suddenly become more, certainly for me, it can be also a life-changing experience of like learning, listening to yourself as a woman, and yeah, and embracing the practices that really serve you during your cycle, during the month. And this is something that, yeah, like I say, it's not known about enough or shared or talked about enough. So the more, if you're interested, I absolutely say join maybe your mini version first, get a taster, and then join the 10-week course, because it's worth it. And you'll always have access, right, to the material that you share.
Yeah. So there is a whole womb wisdom library with all the teachings and all the womb wisdom practices, and there is also Yoni steam. There's a lot, and that you have access for the rest of your life. So I really feel like, for me, like you say, I wish I had this wisdom like 20 years ago. I know when I started my period and would have known what it is to be in a feminine body and to know how we work. So
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like every woman should have access to this, because I just see how important it is, how much it changed people's life. And I'm like, every woman should be able to work with this and have these practices and these tools to come back to over and over again. So, and it was incredible having you there, and just, yeah, also seeing that it is so empowering to
yeah,
have that. Yeah, at any age, we want, yeah, it's a coming
yeah.
home to your own body. Yeah.
So I think we've chatted a lot, and it's been
No,
wonderful.
we can go on.
We can sing mantras together and share together retreats and offerings that we have, and yeah, and we keep sharing our what we can online, and gathering together to bring people to feel more connected, and this is really about where finding your resonance and connection through mantra. So
I
thank
can't wait to see you again in Germany, and maybe do a mantra even together. That would be
you.
absolutely
Yes,
wonderful. Um, to literally offer it together. I think that's, yeah,
yes,
we'd love to do
yes.
that.
That would
Hmm.
be so cool, so cool. And yeah, I'll share a very little story before we finish. If
Yeah.
obviously I'm in Mexico, and the story here is quite different versus COVID, and it's a bit of controversy, and I won't go into that right now. But but the fact is that I can go to like a singing circle or a mantra circle on the beach, and last week I managed to make one with my daughter who's 4, and her friends were there from the kindergarten who were also 4. And whilst it was during the sunset time, and there was maybe like 50 people gathered, quite a lot of people, and they were singing beautiful mantras. And this is the power of mantra, is resonating outward. So many people came, like, who were not going to come across the beach, came and looked and seen what was going on. And then our children took it upon themselves, without anything to do with us. They gathered lots of feathers from all over the beach, then came running back, and like it was like a ceremonial practice, wasn't it? They handed out a feather to each and every person in that
Wow.
circle.
Wow.
It
It's
was
so
so
beautiful.
beautiful. It was like heartbreak, like tears could come to your eyes, because you were like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
did
yeah.
it from they feel the resonance and the power.
Yeah.
And then my little girl, she had a whole bunch left, and she went around everyone. It must be the vibe in Mexico with the thing. She, with the feathers, she was waving them in front of people's faces, very serious, like, and
Yeah.
then moving to the next person. No messing around, no laughing. It was a
Yeah.
serious thing doing.
Yeah. Little shaman.
Heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow.
having taken Jani from a very young age, from like I think 8 months, 6 months, to kirtan and chanting, I really believe our children and children's
Yeah.
children grow up with this vibration. It's, yeah, it has so much power.
Of
So
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful.
healing for us, of healing for them, of healing for Mother Earth, and
Yeah.
everything that's going on right now, when we've been told we cannot do these things,
Yeah.
then those are in situations like I'm in now, where you're kind of sending out the vibrations across the globe. This is
Yeah.
the idea. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I really think this power of ceremony and ritual and prayer, if you like, is something that we have kind of lost by maybe throwing religion out of the door, but we also given up this kind of ceremonial sacred space. And I
Mm.
think that is what is so healing, that people still want. That's what I feel, and what children also immediately feel, I think. It's like
Yeah.
we have to learn it again, but for children, I think they immediately feel this
Mm-hmm.
kind of, because it's humans have done this always. Like, this is part of being human, to gather in a tribe and have ceremonies and rituals.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Helen. Yeah. uh,
Put in, and thanks to everyone that joined in and out. And
Absolutely.
oh,
Yes.
one somebody has a question quickly. I don't know who's still there. There was lots of people coming in and out. Any questions coming through? Last chance, only chance, because I forgot to ask earlier.
Yeah.
Not, then you can always post. For those of you who can post in the after, when I upload it, put it onto IGTV, you can ask a question, and obviously you can contact Veerle. Veerle, your yoga with Veerle is
Yeah, Yoga with Veerle is
in,
my Instagram, and Facebook also is connected to that. Yeah.
and your website is
Yoga with Veerle.
yeah. Okay, that's easy. And,
Yogawithveerle.com. So you should end up with me, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I yogasay.org. So, so
Yeah.
we on Instagram. And so if you have any questions for us about how or where or who to join in mantra
Yeah.
circles, and
Please,
we're
yeah, reach
always
out.
available to reach it, yeah, to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the next one, for those of you who are there, will be the next chat that I do, maybe at the end of the week, will be with from a slightly different perspective, is a wonderful scholar called Ira from the US. I met him in Goa in India, and he's really studied Vedanta for all his life, pretty much. And he's still a scholar. He's a wonderful person, and he will kind of give us a perspective that he has on mantra. And it's not necessarily within Vedanta, but he always goes to kirtans and mantra. So I'm really curious to hear about his journey with mantra, with kirtan, and how it kind of splits him maybe apart from his very Vedanta philosophical scholar.
Yeah. Super interesting. I will be there. I'll watch. Yeah. It's
That's,
wonderful what you're doing. I think it's really, really beautiful time also to open a discussion or a portal or a platform around this, and to get people to get to know it, because I think that's
yeah,
really beautiful. Yeah.
thank you. I just, yeah, like you, love it so much, and I think there's so many different perspectives on it,
Yeah.
and it's just nice to talk to different people and to share
Yeah.
that with people and see their journey with it. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
cool,
Um,
wonderful. Take care. Have
yeah.
a wonderful evening.
Yeah. You
And
too. Wonderful day.
thank you. And
Looking forward to talk to you, and hopefully see you soon. Yeah. Lots of love. Thank
Namaste.
you. Bye bye.